my name is Alex. I have an Instagram and YouTube Love Sugar Show. So I want to thank you for taking your time for doing this interview.
Oh, of course, Richie Cavalera with Incite and Alex. I'm happy that we were able to get this going and talk on the Love Sugar Show and just have a good time.
For sure. And I actually did an unboxing of one of the vinyls that the band did a little bit earlier. So it's exciting to finally actually get to talk to you.
Yeah, that video was awesome. We all loved that so much. It like definitely went viral in our camp and world. So
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Awesome. Well, the first question that I ask anyone that I ever interview is how's everything going, not just musically, but also in your personal life as well?
I mean, everything's really good. Personal life's a little crazy. I thought I had a heart attack 2 days ago, and I was actually in the hospital to get observed for that. It was real strange. I don't know what happened. We were on top of a mountain. I was just driving, having a beautiful day, music, and uh, just weird out of nowhere. And it was a strange experience, because I'm getting a little older. So that was like, and we're going real hard, and it's hot out here and you're playing every day and you kind of forget to take care of yourself, and that was just like a good wake up call to like, yo, don't be stupid. It's worth a lot, to put your on the line for this, but your health and all those things are going to be way more important in the years to come. So yeah, it's been an interesting tour. I mean, and then shows successful, vibes great, bands are killer, fans, metalheads, everybody's just having a great time on this one.
Awesome. And I'm assuming you're feeling better, no heart attacks or anything.
No, I mean they said as far as that stuff went, it looked pretty normal. I still know what I felt and went through. So to experience that like mentally was like really just eye opening. Like I said, it was scary. I was like, man, I'm an hour away from any kind of hospital. I'm gonna just die
Oh,
on
gee.
a hill. All my guys are sleeping in the back. I'm gonna probably kill them too. And it was just a real, yeah, like take it hard, but still make sure you're drinking your water and eating your food and getting your proper sleep and stuff. So, yeah, I'm feeling good. We had a good show last night. It was like a day after coming out of the hospital, and it was an absolute rager, and it felt like alive to be, no problems and being able to do that the next day. It was like a happy, weird feeling, but I enjoyed it and I feel great now. So that's just life on the road.
Awesome. Well, glad you're feeling better because that
Hey,
sounds scary.
yeah, it was crazy.
So you're out on tour right now with a few different bands. What was your reaction when you found out that this lineup was happening and you were going back on the road?
Oh, we were blown away. Like Death Angel has been one of those like, top 15, 20 bands that we set our sights on and our goals to like have a tour with one day. So to
Mm.
have that kind of turn into fruition was like such a cool manifestation, reward. Kind of seeing like where the band is like finally succeeding and really getting noticed, and it was just really cool. And then Violence, they're legendary and they're making their comeback, and Sean's representing that band really cool, and just really, yeah, respect and just humbled to be here, but at the same time you don't want to kick their butts.
For sure. So it sounds like it was a really good lineup, like one of your dream lineups, would you say?
Yeah, I mean, touring with Death Angel, that, like I said, that's like a top 15, 20 metal band in our genre and our area of what we do. So yeah, to tour with them is just definitely like bucket list thing.
Awesome. So I have to ask you personally, what do you think that the band brings to the other bands that you're touring with?
Oh, I mean, we keep them on their toes. I mean, we're a devastating first band. I know what we are capable of and the intensity and energy that we bring to start a show off. Like, and we're younger than them, so it's like we have this mentality of no days off. We go 1,000% hard, no matter if it's a small stage, big stage, bad crowd, whatever it is. It's the same energy you get every single night, and it's tough for a lot of dudes to keep up with that. And these guys are a little older, and Death Angels got incredible energy, and they do. But it's just we push them. We make sure they don't come out and half-ass their show, or else people will talk. Because we're setting the bar extremely high, in my opinion, from the vibes I've felt on this tour.
And how's the tour going so far? Like, how's the crowds? How's the venues?
It's been unbelievably awesome. Amazing venues. Metalheads are turning out. They're supporting the merchandise. They're getting rowdy, having fun, and those are all the things that we strive for. We come out and say we're here to fire you up. And you can see people just getting like, oh shit, I am at a metal show. I got to wake up and get going. These dudes are bringing it, and that's been like a rewarding part. And yeah, just having really nice venues to go, do our thing. We grew up in the bars and the really shitty rundown nightclubs in the middle of nowhere around the country, and to be in like these like Live Nation and all these kind of big venues is like a total different experience for us. It's cool.
That's awesome. So, are there any cities or venues that you're excited to visit or play at? Or are they
Yeah,
all?
yeah, no, I mean we do the Hawthorne Theater tomorrow in Portland, which has always like been a great place to play. We played there a few times and they're always like super memorable shows. And I actually, like have a lot of memories there of like crazy stuff. So that's a cool one that'll be tomorrow. And Santa Ana is a great venue at the observatory. Also have great shows there. The crowd is rowdy. It just has this really cool setup, the way it's like auditorium vibe. And yeah, the whole tour has just been like things I just didn't know about. They had this one called Brooklyn Bowl in Nashville, and it was like bowling and metal, and that was just so cool. Like that I could see being more around the country and offered to people. It's a really cool experience.
Yeah, did you go bowling at all, or did you kind of leave that to everyone else?
Nah, I'm a really good bowler, and I didn't want to make these dudes embarrassed because I watched their first games and they were rolling like 60s and 50s, and I just felt like it was just like, that's my own secret. I was in a bowling league when I was like 14 to 19. I loved bowling. I thought I was going to be like a world famous bowler, in between
Yeah,
like my metal beginning. So it was like it was really serious to me, and yeah, I just let them have their fun without putting them down on the road. We try not to do that too much.
yeah. So don't go bowling with you. I'll go bowling with the other guys.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I would do. It's fun. Like even my fiance, she's getting really good because I be teaching her things, and we have a good time doing that. But yeah, well, look out for Richie on the bowling lanes.
That's awesome. So when you do go on tour, what are like your tour essentials, like things that you need to take with you or things you have to have?
Well, I'm in my van right now, so I got a couple things with me. One of them is the throat coat tee. This stuff is magic for any of you singers out there, guys just getting started. And then my fiance got me these miracle things. They're little like honey drops, and
Hmm.
they're just unreal. I mixed the two in a water, and those are my big essentials. And then I got like the tour face mask. This is crucial when you're in a van with all the windows. It's sunny and hot, and like this will save your life, on a good drive. And
Yeah.
then, yeah, what other better necessities I got in here? My pictures of my fiance are on the back of my chair here, so I can wake up and see her and go to bed with that. So I've got a
Aw,
couple
cute.
got a couple little things, that are important. And I always take like a couple rocks from my house that we've collected, and it just kind of transfers a good energy with me on tour that I can pick up and feel like I'm at home for a minute. And those are my necessities for getting out here. A little bag with the perfume of my girl sprayed in it too. That's a big one. So you can put it on like your blankets and stuff. When you're out on the road and you're doing it like I've been out now 11 weeks, almost straight. So the home is like what you really start to miss.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm sure it helps having like those things that kind of remind you of home too.
Yeah, it's crucial. Like even bringing your pillow from home keeps the vibe that much better for you when you're 6 weeks in and missing that stuff.
Yeah, for sure. So with the song lineup, for anyone like going to see you, are you doing like older stuff, newer stuff, like bonus things that are only played on shows, or what does that kind of look like?
I mean, right now we're playing 7 out of the 10 new songs off of Savage New Times live, and it's the best set list we've ever had. Like, I love all of my children, but
Hmm.
Savage New Times was just it's our perfect record of where we're gonna go. It's everything we've tried to capture and tried to figure out done just right, in my opinion. The solos, the grooves, the vibe, the choruses, the vocals, everything. It just fits. And you never have an album that transfers live like that. Not with that many songs. Usually it's like two or three. The rest just kind of feel like they're CD songs, but not this one. we've added new songs as we've went on this tour, and yeah, we're up to 7 of the 9 songs we play all off of this new record. And it's you can see people getting hyped about it. It's fun.
Well, that's awesome. So
Uh,
I have to ask before you guys like kind of go on stage, is there any like sort of rituals that you guys have or anything you do before you go on set?
yeah, we always meet up 15 minutes before, just the 4 of us. No interruptions. Just being goofy, being stupid. We get really hyped. It's just like a really, like I was saying, it's like the tightest band I've ever been a part of, and like this like vision of everything being on the same page. We're gonna go be the best band. We're gonna have fun. We're bros. Like, and then we'll each take a couple hits of the dope pen and our little vapes, or take a shot or whatever you need, and then fist pound, and then it's go time. So that's a crucial thing for all of us to always have that time to like take in what's happening.
So before you guys or I guess like after you do that, does anyone in the band, including yourself, do you guys get nervous before you hit the stage or is it more like excitement or
I think definitely it's a mixture of a lot of different emotions. Like I'm always nervous, and I know this is gross, but we joke about like, hey, I gotta go to the bathroom, when we're like a minute away from going on stage, because your stomach's just so tight and squeezing, and you got adrenaline pumping, and your endorphin, like everything's going 1,000 miles. And I say that's what like a musician always struggles with, is finding that feeling outside of the stage, because it doesn't exist. Like uh, gambling, high stakes racing, nothing like brings it that close to what that does to people. I think that's why you see these artists that stay for 100 years. It's just like there's nothing that replaces that. So we take it in, and we're all nervous and freaking out, but then it's like go time, professional, do your job.
yeah. I think another like way around like having to go to the bathroom, there's like diapers too, you can go on stage and do your business at the same time, two in one.
Yeah, it's like it's never like a real thing. It's just like a feeling, this nervousness inside you. It's like the closest thing you can compare it to is like, your stomach just turning in circles.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's a great experience. Everybody should try it once.
Maybe like first date vibes, like that kind of nervousness, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it's like getting up in front of your school when you didn't do the report, and you're gonna just flop and fail, and you've never spoken in front of people before. It's like that every night. Like you
Yeah.
have to, even if you like don't tour for a couple months, the first show back, you experience heavy nervousness, compared to like show 15, for sure. But it's always there. You want to be perfect, and you're playing in front of random people, and it's like, whoa, uh,
Yes.
flashback to book report day in like 5th grade. Terrifying.
Very, very.
So,
So I want to talk a little bit about the band. How has the band's like songwriting or even sound evolved over like the past few years?
yeah, I think tremendously. You go from like our 5th album, Built to Destroy, to Savage New Times, our 7th newest album. Uh, you can tell it's the same band, but you can tell that we've honed in what we're doing, refined a lot of things that didn't need to be there, and expanded, and are trying things that we know we can do that are really cool. And
Hmm.
that's been fun, adding Lane Richardson on guitars. And this was his first record that he recorded with us and wrote with us. So that's an exciting thing. And playing piano, acoustic, all these other things that attributed to making this album such a leap forward for us, I think was huge. Him and Lennon, our main writers of the music, are just really tight, in sync, have a great vision of what we want to do. And I think, it's making a huge impact on our sound and our feel, and just getting better. It's fun to like not have your first or second record be like this big blow up hit thing, and then you're chasing that forever. Instead, we've just been able to grow and develop, and not many bands get a chance to grow and develop for 7 records, and then finally be like, damn, I think we just locked in, boys.
Yeah.
It's
That's,
cool. We're fortunate for that, and that's like been the luckiest thing for us.
and do you think like maybe the last album has something to do with that, or is it the way you created music, maybe put more emotions in it, or what do you think like the success is behind the band?
I think people are just finally paying attention. I think it's like, all right, they've been around this long, they got that many records, they're badass live. Like, why haven't we really gave them more than what they deserve? When you're letting bands like Ice Nine Kill and Slaughter to Prevail, all these really generic crap written music be big. That's just like we're coming from an era of like Pantera and you know,
I think I might have lost you for a second there. Wait for that to come back. Look, uh, um, audio only. Yeah, I need to do these two, and then welcome, welcome back.
I,
I heard you for a second, and then it went back out.
my phone got too hot. It almost blew up. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
I've never had to do that before.
Yeah, it's rare that that happens sometimes, but is it good
Yeah,
now or
yeah, it should be fun. I got inside. Like I was saying, it's really hot today. It's
okay?
jacked up.
You'll be
But
the
yeah,
first interview we had two locations on, so
yeah, add a little extra to it,
yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, yeah. So yeah, we're just like a different brand of metal that I think people are missing. We're like we don't have gimmicks. We're not out there dressing in suits and paints and masks and all this stuff. We're not playing to endless backing tracks and just out there like acting. We're not using triggers. We're just a original heavy metal band. I just think that's missing. It's like unless you go to like the older dudes that are getting near the ends of their line. It's like we're kind of the only really younger band doing that style. Most
Yeah.
of transferred over into the trends of like metalcore and like like all the grind and all that kind of stuff. So I think we're in a good place. People are
Well,
just finding it.
well, better late than never. I mean, I feel like especially with like Spotify, YouTube, like with all these band camps, like it's so easy to discover music nowadays, which I think is really awesome. Definitely.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's a cool thing for everybody, But again, then it makes it feel like it's so oversaturated because you got Kevin in his basement in Toledo, Ohio, that can create a band and put the whole thing together, not really give a shit about what he's doing, So it's a bit of a weird place, it's got its pluses and its minuses, just like everything else.
Very true. So, with the music itself, is there anything like you're experimenting with, like musically or the way things sound that you maybe wouldn't have tried like earlier on in your career?
Yeah, definitely. I think a song like Dolores is like a perfect example of that. Like piano, um, black metal guitar riffs, a different kind of like spoken vocal performance. I think you definitely hear that. Our last album, you had acoustic guitar and more um, like influence from like '90s thrash and like '90s heavy metal. Like songs like Cemetery Gates or like Hollow. It's like
Hmm.
just showing us that we can do more and not be afraid to like do it. Not like overthink of what people expect.
Yeah, for sure. And the band has been around for a little while. And what kind of like keeps you inspired after all these years?
I mean, like these dudes, my bandmates, and actually L's here, so he can do his tattoo segment too. So that's actually perfect. And yeah, I mean, uh, I think again, well, us finding Lane was like a refire up for all of us. Because then it was like we found him, and it was like this dude we've been missing, and then it was like we got like the manager company we've been wanting to get, and then it was like we got the agent we've been wanting to get. So it was like everything just kind of came together, and you're like, damn, I'm really fired up again. And then the record was done. It was like, oh yeah, let's go. Like this is like the coolest time we've ever actually had after all the hard work and shitty days we went through. Like this is like then it just reignites you, I think, when all those things are together. Because if you're playing with somebody that you don't get along with, or there's somebody in your camp that sucks, and it drains you. Like that really kicks your
Yeah.
ass hard. And you don't realize it. You just are like, oh, I'll get through it. But it's like it slowly depletes you. And I think that's like something we were kind of going through, you know, thanks
Yeah.
to, like COVID and all that shit. We were able to like relaunch, rebrand, re-become Incite in a different way that we really wanted to be the whole time.
And how's the band dynamic? Like, do you guys get along? Are you guys like besties? Have you known each other forever?
Oh yeah, I mean, we're absolute best friends for sure. I mean, obviously we have other best friends, but when we come together and it's tour and band time, like we all just throw out hard. We all, go out to lunch together. We shower together. We room together. We vibe. And I think that we carry our gear together. Like if there's
Yeah.
stairs, there's four of us on this thing. Like it's it's like what you do in like the military or like a sports team and just building like a camaraderie that we don't see a lot of out on tour. Not the whole group like this.
Yeah.
Most of the bands are right. They're fighting with each other. Two of them don't get along. You notice those things, but with us, it's like, damn, these dudes fucking are throwing out hard on this, and that's special to have.
Yeah. Because I know some bands, they just get along so not well that they end up breaking up because they're like, I can't stand you anymore. Sorry.
Oh yeah, like that was our old guitar player. Like he totally was that guy. The three of us, we've been getting along like amazingly for 13 years. I mean, they're both going to be standing in my groom's party, my wedding. Like that's how like important they are. So it's like when you have that, yeah, it's different. You go to like war for your bro, rather than like this dick bag that you fucking hate.
Yeah.
That's kind of like why we stopped playing the other music too. We don't want that guitar player to receive like show royalties. Like fuck him. That's how callous we are about this. Because
Yeah.
that's what a prick he was. So yeah, I think we're where we want to be, and we're hyped about everything that's going on.
Well, that's awesome. Sometimes you have to go through the mud to get to the good part.
That's 1,000%. Yeah, like we're definitely ready for it.
So musically, are there any artists outside of metal currently that influences your music at all or kind of get you pumped to keep going?
Yeah, I've been really big into like new age reggae, like Stick Figure and Revolution and Iration and Tribal Seeds. Like I moved near the ocean like 4 years ago, so that like became a huge thing into my world. Like
Hmm.
transformed my vibe. Showed me a really cool positive way to like put lyrics together and use your emotions like that. And I think that's something I tried to do more on this record was like a positive outlook on some of these songs rather than like just this endless negative void of horribleness that comes with most associated metal. So it's like
Yeah.
it's cool. There's uniting, there's fighting the lies, there's you know just dealing with a lot of like doubts and fears, chucked off.
Hmm.
It's like just really cool stuff. I thought that came from that for sure. That definitely influenced my vibe on a lyrical level.
That's awesome. I think all types of music are really good. Like reggae is really chill, just calm. Like let's just take life one step at a time.
Yeah, promoting peace and unity and stuff like that. And I think we need more of that, for sure.
We need that on a billboard.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. A few of them.
So I want to get into cannabis culture.
Yeah,
You're well aware, I'm sure, cannabis has become a really mainstream more and more over the years. It feels like the longer, the years go on, the more it's like more in the mainstream and more states are legalizing it and all of that. So have you noticed a shift in how it's viewed in the metal culture at all?
yeah. I think it just replaced cigarettes. Like everybody that was already smoking weed, just stopped smoking cigarettes, and now we all hang out and smoke joints or bowls, and it's cool because it brings the ones that do together on the tour, and they're like instant friends, and they're always looking out for each other, and then that creates like hangs between the different camps, so you're just instantly like creating bonds on tours, and that's an important thing to have. It's like to get that kicked off right away and like pick out your weed smokers, get a good vibe going, and then like the rest of the tour just kind of flows really good. Uh, we just always like associate ourselves like the Cypress Hill Metal. We drive a van that we call the Bernasium that we invite everybody to come in and smoke, and it's just like something we find is just like like a uniting thing with our metalheads out there. It's like we can all relate, we can all have different things that we share. That's definitely
Mhm.
been a big part for us. We advocate for people to be able to like live their life, do what they want, and you know, not be afraid to like have a plant. It's crazy.
And do you think like more people have gotten into it, like, or do you think it's more like people have always been into it and it's just like more ex widely accepted now?
Yeah, I think that's it. Obviously, I think like grandpa and grandma, regular now can go into like a dispensary and enjoy like it and see that it's not like, the devil that they made it seem to be all those years propaganda, So that's I think a huge part. And you still go through some states where the propaganda and the Bible Belt feel is there really intensely about weed still, but there's less of those now than there ever was. So it's a really cool thing to witness.
For sure. And for you personally, do you think cannabis like help creativity, relaxation, maybe like some type of recovery, or what do you think like its role is?
Oh, I mean, it's endless. I mean, paper, fuels, all sorts of stuff, I think is what's cool about it, but also, yeah, the altering of like your vibe, I always like, I used it more as a youngin to just like feel a feel, and then it evolved into like this inspirational thing where you can like hone into this thing. And now it's more just like, you're sore and achy. So I use it more for like sore and achy or to replace not smoking cigarettes anymore, something like that. So uh,
Yeah.
I think it's definitely the more safer route for people to go than the normalized things like pills and alcohol and cigarettes. So it makes more sense in terms of like mind, body, and spirit.
For sure. What would you say to someone who, let's say like that grandma or grandpa who doesn't really understand or are really against it? Like, how would you like, I guess, kind of let them know like, hey, it's okay now. Like, it's not this huge, horrible thing that we were told. Like, how would you kind of go about that?
I mean, I just sit down and smoke a joint with them and let them just experience that. When their aches go away and their joints feel better, their cataracts feels better, they can eat more food because of it. It's like I think that's really the only way you can teach anybody anything. Talking to somebody is just it's not what it used to be. I think
Yeah.
now it's everybody has to experience it or feel it to understand why you felt that way or why you wanted it that way. I think that's going to come across and just get you closer to where you're trying to be.
Well, hopefully you have a lot of snacks because.
That's what I'm saying. It's just a good thing all in all.
So, where do you think it's going to be like maybe 10 to 15 years, like in the metal culture specifically? Like, do you think it's going to get bigger? Do you think it's going to bring people together? Do you think it helps people enjoy music, or where do you think that's going?
It'll just be more normalized. I think you already see that. You go to like shows in Colorado or Washington, and like I said, it's replaced the cigarette. So you're not walking around smelling disgusting cigarettes, watching people actually like killing themselves and like enjoying it. Now it's like
Yeah.
everybody's outside toking a bowl or hitting their vape pen or smoking a joint, and it's just, I mean, that's like 10 things just in itself of what it does that are so much better for the scene, the clubs, the people that are also bystanders. I'm sure that smoke's not doing near 1% of the damage that cigarette smoke is doing to bystanders. So it's a good win all around. I
Yeah,
love the smell of it too when it's burning, so that's cool.
for sure. Do you have any funny tour stories that you can share with us?
I mean, more of a like a crazy one. We were in Indiana, and they're pretty crazy about their weed. And me and the drummer had just smoked one out in the parking lot, and we go into our rooms, and you reek of it, so it may give off the ascension that you've got like tons of weed or something. But luckily that was like one of our last joints, and I go to my room, he's in his room, and all of a sudden, there's knocking at the door, and we open it. It's like two, you know. State troopers in Indiana, where you're probably going to go to jail for the rest of your life, and it was like,
Oh no.
luckily I was like in the bathroom and I, had the joints on me. So I shoved my arm basically down the toilet, and flushed it just to make sure that this thing would disappear. And I had the bath running, luckily, because that's what I was going to do, take a shower. And he was like, "Why is your arm wet?" I'm like, "Oh, because I was feeling the water temperature. I didn't know what was going on." But that was pretty scary. They ended up kicking us out of the hotel, fined us like $300, and it was just madness and funny at the same time because one of the guys answered the door and he was like in his boxers, and yeah, it was stupid, but weeds are different in every state. And you got to be careful, even with the ones that are still like Nazis about it.
For sure. Are there any final thoughts on weed before we move on?
Yeah, just legalize it. Let everybody enjoy themselves. Yeah, try it once.
Me personally, I don't do any of it, but I'm all for legalizing it because I feel like there are way worse things that people can do. So,
Yeah, see, that's yeah. It's like live your life. Don't tell everybody else how to do it. Just do what you're doing and have fun and like do what you want with your years. They're all so limited. So why not? As long as you're not harming anybody else.
exactly. So, I kind of want to talk a little bit about metal culture as well. And I'm curious, what kind of pulled you into heavy metal?
My first like real memory was like seeing Metallica, and like just that experience of like the stage show, they just seemed like giants, and I think that just kind of really got me moving in that direction. And like at the time I was probably like 6, and I like got my first microphone for Christmas and was singing, and you know, I still wanted to kind of be like a truck driver. I used to get like truck magazines and look at trucks. Like it was just so cool to me.
Yeah,
But now I infuse, driving my van with music. So it's kind of like the best of both worlds. But yeah, I think Metallica was like the big thing. I think that was for most metalheads like that, or if you were older than I was, it was like Ozzy or, things like that. So Metallica got me going. And then, yeah, I never looked back. I loved everything about it. I went on stage the first time when I was like 10 or so, maybe 8. And it
hmm
was like 120,000 people. It was the craziest thing I ever seen. But it was like, this is tight. And then, yeah, just 30 years later, he's still doing it. It's really cool. It's crazy.
And what kind of, I guess, prompted the band? Like, how did you figure out, like, hey, I want to be in a band. I'm gonna like ask this person. Like, how did it all kind of begin?
Yeah, because I wasn't sure about that. I was like, I was getting ready to like graduate high school, and I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was going to go on tour and just kind of like sell merch for my dad or other bands, and just kind of like tour, but not sure. But then one of my friends, their band kind of like lost their singer. So I kind of was like, yeah, I'll check it out. And, I don't know what happened, how I stayed or what, but yeah, like then every day after that, it was just like my mission to be like this badass band that kicked ass, and it seemed like a cool challenge to try to do.
Yeah. And
And
was Metallica like the first heavy like music that you listened to, or was there like other ones as well?
yeah, I was listening to like Sacred Reich and Sepultura and SOD and Green Jelly, Gore. I was all over. I liked the theatrics of some of those bands when I was younger. Being a kid, seeing like Gore was like the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. And then, started seeing MTV with like REM and Nine Inch Nails and, it just kind of evolved into everything that you just grow up as a kid, loving it.
Yeah, I forgot that MTV actually plays music. Back in the day, there was a time where MTV actually played music. I know they don't anymore, but
I mean, that's all they did. You could just watch it 24 hours a day, just rocking or popping or dancing, or it was a great time. Learned a
yeah.
lot, influenced by a lot of stuff.
Now we have MTV Classic, which kind of plays music, so I guess that works. But
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I didn't even know about that.
yeah, I think it's a premium channel, but they play like 90s, 80s metal, and I'm like, okay, cool. They actually play music. That's nice to know.
That's rad. Get some Yo MTV raps on there, some Spring Break, rocking and dancing. Yeah, all that stuff was great. Loved it.
Yeah. So, no pressure, but what was the first metal album that like changed your life?
Um, Probably Injustice for All. Yeah, that one or uh, Megadeth. What's the one that's got Symphony of Destruction on it? What's the name of that record? Well, that's not the name. No, yeah. So that Megadeth record, it had like Sweating Bullets and all these like really cool songs. I grew to love that album a lot. Um,
Hmm.
that one and definitely Injustice for All. Those were probably like my two main metal albums. And then like I learned about like Ministry, and that like turned into a big love of mine. I have like a photo of me like 8 years old dressed as like Al Jorgensen, like full on. Like, yeah, I was all about it. I loved it. The culture, the bigness of it. Just, yeah, it was cool. It appealed to me a lot.
What about those albums were like life changing?
I don't know. I think when you listen to it on a CD and then you see them live, especially in that era, it was just, I don't know how to describe it. It's just, it's life changing, like that's what sent me down this crazy path that 20 years later, still playing in a band. It's just like, you see that and you're just like, damn, I want to do that. You do it and you're like, damn, this is really cool. I keep doing it and do it bigger and larger for more people and, all that, like help more people like it did for me, releasing anger, you know, help you not be
Hmm.
like a violent person in real life. You can go to this concert, like scream your ass off and then like feel released and like brand new. I think that appealed.
I feel like when you're in a like a really horrible mood, I don't know what it is about angry music, but it makes you feel better. So
Yeah, I think like I say, metal is the safest place to release that like really aggressive, angry, I had a bad day, in a healthy way. I tell my fiance that like yell into the pillow, and listen to some heavy metal, you feel $1 million better. You know, Mo-
definitely.
most metalheads I've met are the nicest people I've ever met.
Yes, and it's free therapy, so
Yeah, that's 1,000%. It's true.
so what do you think makes like metal fans, metal culture different from other like genres?
I think the love of it. I think most people that follow trendy music, pop or country or hip hop or rap, tend to change what they like every couple of years.
Hmm.
A metalhead when they first are a kid and they see that show, I mean, they're a metalhead till they're 60 and dead. It's a lifelong thing, I think, for, the people that I need to see. I mean, being on this tour, most of these dudes saw the original Act Three of Death Angel in 1990. So that they live it, they love it. It's a part of their everyday, and I think that's the difference. You know, people don't tend to like do that for pop or those other things unless it's like Michael Jackson. Hand select few.
Hmm.
They come and go so fast in those other genres.
So you're saying metalheads, we have like, we have commitment, so we can stay in long-term relationships with metal.
Yeah, I think so without question. It's just a staying power throughout your whole life. It can always be there for different times. I don't think, listening to LMFAO when I'm 55 is going to do like it did for me when I was 20. Big difference, I think, in what like the music's do for you. The other ones are
Yeah,
just for like a short period of time.
very, very true. It's almost like a trend, like it comes in and comes out.
Yeah. And then it's the next ones are there for the next kids that come in and, so on and so forth. So, but this is like, you know, forever. You're still competing against ACDC as a band. They're literally still touring, selling records. There's no other business that does that, where the people that started the music are still competing against the people that are 40 years later just starting out. Like, you don't compete against just the bands from the last couple of years. You're competing against every metal band that's ever been in the history of metal, because they're still out there touring, they're still selling records, and that's different. There's no other things doing that.
For sure. But you can also, I don't know, I feel like with metal artists, you can kind of see and feel like their love for it. It's not just like, hey, I'm just here for a paycheck, cash it in, come out,
Yeah,
and see like the passion, I feel like.
yeah, but there's in every music scene, there's those people and those people that do that, and that's hopefully, like, I think since COVID, most people kind of recognize, like, this person's playing to backing tracks, this person's playing a half-ass show and skipping songs and this and that. So I think it's like, that's the difference.
For sure. Do you have any other thoughts on metal culture or any like things you want to share?
I mean, I think we covered a lot of it. It's a great place full of all sorts of different people. I mean, everybody that you see online that's like fighting, they're at a metal show hanging out together and not knowing that they're the ones online fighting with each other. Like, that's literally what metal culture is. It's the coolest thing ever. People bring their children, they bring their moms that are 72. I mean, I see everything every day, but I don't see, hate. I don't see uh intentional violence. I don't see that stuff at like real deal traditional metal concerts. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah, which is a good thing because some shows get a little wild.
Yeah, I mean, that's where you're like influenced by the young kids that are a little more crazy with the hardcore and those kind of things, for sure. But I think true metal, like, Death Angel, Slayer, whatever, it's people that got respect for each other.
Yeah, because we're all getting older, like what we could do in our 20s is like, no, that would like break my hip nowadays. Like we have to be be more careful.
Oh yeah, I got smoked in the mosh pit just like 2 weeks ago watching Death Angel in Florida. Yeah, I was partying, we were moshing, and yeah, somebody smoked me hard. But I was like, yeah, I'm retiring now.
Yeah. So
So
you had your last mosh pit.
yeah, it felt great. Like, you feel 20 years younger doing that kind of stuff. It's cool.
Awesome. Well, the last part of the interview is just like rapid fire questions, just kind of like fun, exciting questions, just to kind of like, let viewers get to know you as a person as well, because we've talked about a
Awesome,
bunch of other stuff too.
awesome. I love it.
So, what is your favorite post-meal show?
Whatever they have available that's hot and ready at a Pilot truck stop. Lately, it's been the little pack of pickles, a cheese stick, some pretzels, and uh, like an Uncrustable. That's been my like after show snack for like maybe 10 shows in a row now. It gets, when it's 2 in the morning, it's really tough to like have a lot of choices. You don't want to eat like McDonald's and all that crap all the time. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's been my go-to lately. It's got all the good vibes.
Do you like get all those things at once and you're eating them all together? Because pickles and an Uncrustable are kind of very different.
Yeah, no, you like to start with pickles, cheese, and the pretzels, and that's finished. You kind of have the Uncrustables like your dessert.
Awesome.
Yeah, and a little bit of protein. I mean, we burn. Gosh, I probably burn thousands of calories and how many steps and rocking as hard as we do. So it's good to have some like high protein things.
And if you had to get like another tattoo, what is like another next tattoo idea that you would have?
Yeah, me and my fiance, after we get married, we're gonna get slices of pizza, because pizza has been like the one defining thing of our like whole relationship. It's always been pizza. We both love pizza. We eat it all the time, and
Hmm.
it's just, yeah, something that like connected us right off the bat. Like, love the pizza.
Yeah, I don't understand people that don't like pizza. I'm like, there's a pizza for everyone.
Yeah, no, you're a psychotic psycho if you don't eat pizza. I don't even care.
Yes. My fiance does not like pizza, and I'm like,
Oh gosh,
oh, this could be a deal breaker.
yeah, keep an eye on him for sure.
So, which album did you listen to the most this year?
This year would be probably Crosses. Their new release with Chino Moreno, singing for them. I think they're like the coolest band ever. All I listen to all the time. And, definitely go check them out. It's unbelievable.
What about your most played song this year?
Sensation by Crosses for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's
And
a jam.
because you're on tour, I have to ask if you could have like any dream tour with an artist alive or dead, who would that be?
Um, I think for us and the kind of music we are, it'd be like the original Pantera. I think that like tour for us would be like the most perfect matchup of like feels and vibes and like partying and just doing original metal shit.
Yeah. And in your opinion, the most underrated metal band?
Um, Cancer Bats. I mean, they're like they have underground fun, but they're like one of the coolest bands ever.
Have you went to their show or have you met them?
Oh yeah, we toured with them a couple times, and they're just like that's where I've probably like learned the most of my like stage moves from is watching Lean. He's just an animal. He doesn't stop. It's relentless. It's amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
So, are you more of a coffee person or energy drink person when you're on tour?
I've actually never drank an energy drink. I only like coffee. It's got flavor. It's somewhat good for you in certain aspects. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't do the energy drinks. I'm already through the roof on energy, and if I had an energy, I'd probably nuke myself. Yeah.
What kind of coffee? Do you take like cream? Are you like a Starbucks coffee person, Dutch Bros?
No, no bougie shit. I just like regular drip coffee, just normal. I buy whatever's on sale or has a good price, and I put just a little bit of sugar and like a drop of cream or milk.
Right on. I love the sale. I always love a good sale myself.
Yeah, like simple. It all tastes the same to me.
And are you a morning or night owl?
I'm kind of both. Like I like to wake up at like 5:30 and go to bed at like 1:30. So it's
Okay.
and then I'll take like a nap in the middle of the day. I'm not a middle of the day person at all. Like 2 to 4, I'm not there.
5:30 is pretty wild. I am like dead asleep at that time.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I just love getting up before the world or the city's up and just feeling like the atmosphere. It's really cool.
For sure. So for fans who do follow you, once your tour is done, like what is next for the band? Like what can they expect?
But yeah, we're gonna announce another U.S. tour. I think it starts September 11th. I can't say who until like the flyer's been announced, but it's gonna be really cool. I think people are gonna dig it. It's hitting a lot of the cities we didn't do on this one, and I think we still have so much ground to cover, and we'll have another tour by the end of the year, and worry about like international stuff next year and making a new record and all that.
Awesome. So, I have to ask, like, can we get a hint of who it is? Like a letter, a first letter?
An end.
Okay, there you guys go. You have a little information I got for you.
Yeah, no, it'll be cool. It's going to be a good experience, good atmosphere. I think people will have a good time with it too. It's going to be high energy and punk and all sorts of stuff.
Okay, awesome, awesome. Well, I'm glad I got that little hint so everyone can kind of just figure it out and maybe someone will be like, oh, it's this person. See who can get it right.
They'll definitely have a good idea. There's not a lot of ends out there that are metal.
For sure. And that's all the questions I have for you. Did you have anything that you want to add or anything that we haven't discussed?
I think we killed that. That was like one of the coolest interviews in a long time. I definitely appreciate that.
Well, awesome. Well, I will let you get going so you can rest up and, just have the free day to let your phone cool off and, go take a nap if you need to.
Thank you so much for everything, and again for like rescheduling, figuring this out, making it work. Because this was awesome, and thanks for the unwrapping and all that stuff you did. We really appreciate people spreading the word. It's
Yeah, no
awesome.
problem. Once the interview's out, I'll tag you guys on all the socials and put all your information in the video below so people can find it too.
Where are you out of? Do you go to the concerts and stuff? Like, did we play where you're at?
So I'm actually in Tennessee, so I actually know the venue that you're talking about
Okay,
with the
okay,
bowling alley, but I haven't been there yet. I've been to other places, but not that one.
okay, okay. I got you. Yeah, yeah. We'll be back through that area though in that September tour. So if we're close, let's do a live in person interview with everybody and cause some real ruckus.
Cool. I'll definitely keep an eye out. Have Sophia like maybe set it up so we can do that because that would be fun.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much again.
No problem. Take care.
All right, later.
Bye.